What's up, everybody? As we promised, we are back here with episode 53 of the Pitside podcast. We've just completed in the past few days our Knoxville Nationals charity event, but I have to tell you, we have a very, very special guest for you this week. I think a couple of weeks ago we talked about our favorite episode or our favorite interview, and I'm telling you, this is a spectacular interview. We have Ed Sim back here for a second time, but joining him is none other than Brody Sim himself. So we're going to chat for a few minutes, and then we'll jump over and talk to those guys here in just a little bit. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Pitside podcast, where we discuss the latest news and developments in the Coast2Coast Racing League, as well as other racing news inside and out of iRacing. Here's your host, the A-Let Outlaw, Preston Cranmer, and Roger, the Bass Man, Craig.
So we're back once again. It's been a couple of crazy weeks here. We had a big event, 4 days in a row. We haven't done one like that in a little bit.
No.
And I got to tell you, it was fantastic. It was one of the most fun charity events. I know we did this. I think the last time we did a Knoxville Nationals style event was our King of the Wing. And we were overdue. We were overdue. The format was so much fun.
I have had so much feedback this week about how much everybody was enjoying it. I've had, I haven't even mentioned this to you, I've been contacted by other leagues, like how did we do that? You know, the Tuesday night, the finals. How did we pull that off? So we are doing something that, other people haven't done. And it's got to be my favorite charity race. Maybe not like from a fundraiser, like there's, the Brody Sim one and Grady. I mean, those were, for sure. But it's always great to do it for the vets. But my favorite event, like for running in and running, I guess, because for sure they're labors of love, doing this for the veterans. And I think we hit it out of the park. We had some glitches on Tuesday night in the background. The broadcasters, carried it so well, so professionally, and the men behind the curtain were like pedaling as fast as they could to fix some glitches, but it all came off. I was up till 3 or 3:30 in the morning watching the broadcast, and totally impressed. Before we go anywhere, a big shout out to Marty Zakala, who carried the first 3 nights, did a phenomenal job, and then volunteered to sit in with the other guys, the Virtual Grip Network. And so guys, just remember, Virtual Grip Network, they're with us next season. We've got a commitment from them, and we started out with probably the most difficult thing we've ever tried. Well, definitely the most difficult thing we've ever tried, and they came in first time, and there was a few little hiccups, but I don't think most people noticed what they were. They hit it out of the park. They had they had a man behind the curtain, a producer, and then they had 4 guys, that were broadcasting it, and who would never, I know Marty had never worked with these guys, and you would never know it. Like, they were just so professional.
Yeah.
Can't say enough about, and they did it for free. They did that night for free. So that's more money in, the charity. And speaking of that, Preston, I think we don't have an official total yet, because we've at the time we're recording this, we haven't done the door prizes, but we don't know, if some guys are going to donate it to the charity or whatever. But I think it's safe to say we're at least at $1,400, big in large part to the sponsors, because the sponsors raised probably half that. So that's not nothing against the drivers. The drivers did a phenomenal job, but the sponsors, and our expenses are very little other than the payouts, and just success all around. But kudos to all the broadcasters. They did a great job. The drivers did a great job. There was not one protest filed, and let's face it, there was times there could have been protests filed. There's some kind of ugly incidents that happened. No protests filed. So everybody was in the spirit of the event, understanding what it was about. And I want to tip my hat to all the drivers. Did a phenomenal job. I thought they put on a phenomenal job. So, and that Tuesday night, the whole main thing, I thought we'd have a C main, B main, but no, we had so much support. We did have an E, a D, and the cool part about that too was some of these little hidden gems, nuggets that we got out of this thing was we had so many guys interviewed that never been interviewed before.
Yeah.
So like we were getting, sharing the love with you always get the Snooks on here and the Moonins and the Goldners and stuff, but we had and mine, I had my headset wasn't working. I mean, I was going to get interviewed and I never get interviewed, but all the old guys were getting interviewed. The mayor got interviewed, Bixler and Gary. No, Gary didn't get interviewed, but he was maybe about the only one that did. We had a lot of guys that haven't had some FaceTime on the broadcast, so it was awesome that way too.
Yeah, and so back to the broadcasters. I don't know. I know a lot of guys that watch our podcast are probably in the event and are aware of some of the hiccups we're having, and on that end it seems really extreme. But if anybody saw just the broadcast, I don't think they, other than them mentioning, hey, we're just trying to get something straight here or there,
yep.
It seemed very minor. And frankly, it really wasn't. Like, there was a lot of work that had to be done very quickly. And Roger took the brunt of that, let's be honest here. But they did a great job. It's not that they were covering it up. They just kind of did their job, right? Like,
they're professional.
It was awesome. It
came across.
And I know
Go ahead.
I know we sound like a broken record every time we finish one of these events talking about the support guys, but it is serious. Like, you're going to hear that in the interview. I don't want to give anything away, but when we talk to Brody here in a few minutes,
yes,
we legitimately are making a difference. I actually got an email from Christina from Disabled American Veterans today thanking us for doing what we're doing. So people are actually starting to pay attention from outside of our league too. So I hope everybody's aware that they're really doing something with us when we put these events on.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
And we still want to talk about the Knoxville Nationals here for just a little bit, but don't go away. Really, seriously, this interview with Brody Sim is, it was very, it was great to see Brody and seeing how well he's doing. It was just. I'm getting all emotional talking about it again because it was just so cool to see how well he's doing.
Yeah.
And so let's go back to the Nationals again.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that I don't know if you saw it on the YouTube channel, I don't remember which main it was, but there were a lot of the retreads showed up, and it was almost the majority, and we had a little bit of a laugh. I think it was either the E or the D, and we were having a laugh about it being the early bird special. I thought that was pretty funny because all the old guys were in there. But yeah.
It was kind of good that we all got to run before our bedtime, so it was it was great. It didn't hit me until during the show, really, when I was noticing, geez, all these names, I haven't heard them on interviews before, and that was a big part of it. And hey, a shout out to, I can't remember the producer's name, but he was in England, so it was
really?
3:30 in the morning. It was 3 or 3:30 in the morning when we finished the show. So, and he did it for nothing, Right. So like, and Lowell Jewell, we want to say that name because he's the man behind the curtain for Virtual Grip Network. He's the brainchild, and Lowell's been great to work with, and put together a crackerjack team for that. Yes. So a big shout out to all of them, and they really came out of the box blasting with all rounds here because it was it was just a great job, and yeah, they all donated their time, so thank you so much, seriously.
Yes.
So we had the winners. We want to talk about who won. Kyle Moonen was supposed to be on tonight, but unfortunately, just like Kyle Larson, I think he's in California tonight, and then he's going to be on one of the talk shows tomorrow night. He's doing the normal round that all champions do, and I think he's going to Disneyland maybe in a couple of weeks or something.
I'm
so
just surprised we didn't end up with the priority. I'm just saying, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
I know, but yeah, I'll see you guys next week.
Who needs Conan anyway, right?
Yeah. So congratulations to Kyle Moonen. He pulled off another one, and we're proud to have him in the league. He's just a great guy, and So there was, and then Lane Snook has lunch money. Somebody said he's so Kyle won $100, and we don't know what, there's no judgment at all but they can have an Amazon gift card, iRacing credits, or donate the money or whatever. But Kyle's got some fun money for sure. He's probably spending it at Disneyland. And Lane, somebody said he's got lunch money here, so buy cookies
extra
or something.
Cookies in the cafeteria.
Extra cookies in the
I'll
cafeteria.
take credit for that
one. And then third place was help me with that one. That's the one I missed.
Third place was Ross Carrenta, which was awesome to see him, because I know he's, with stuff he's got going on, hadn't been able to race with us during our season. But came back out for the charity event.
And he was busy. He wasn't sure he was going to make that. It kind of ran late, which worked out in his favor because he had to help with his daughter's basketball team or something, like family first, right?
That's right.
He was there, and I got to give him kudos. There's a chance he was going to miss it because of his family. That's all right. Like, that's what we're all about. But and a shout out to Ross and Velocity Design, because Andy Patton, Andy ran phenomenal. Andy. So Ross or somebody behind Velocity, I don't know if it was Ross or not, I think it was, put together a paint for Andy, and it was a jet plane. I don't know if you saw the close detail on that.
I did.
It had the rivets. It was incredible, and it was a jet. Andy was flying both in the veterans only races and in the. It was so nice to see Andy doing so well.
Yeah.
So kudos to Andy on that, and. But a shout out to Ross and Velocity Design. So we got some great rap. I know you're kind of stepping out of that business, or stepping back at least a little bit. But we got some incredible designers going on. Yeah, you're one of them, but you're getting overloaded these days. So shout out to Andy, and then Kevin Fry, I think, was the other.
So Stephen Goldner finished fourth.
Stephen Goldner.
Yeah, no surprise there. And then, like you said, Kevin Fry finished fifth.
Kevin Fry. And then fourth was...
fourth was Stephen Golden.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and fifth was
Sorry, I got them all. I knew I was missing one earlier, and I kept thinking I was missing one. But yeah.
Well, so then there were the veterans-only races, too, which the winner of the veterans-only race got an automatic berth into the final.
Yep.
And it wasn't just a single race. They had a 3-race mini-series that they ran across. I guess it was the Wednesday prior during the Hometown Heroes, and then Monday and Tuesday they ran their other 2 races to determine who was going to win that spot. And I know Patrick Spengler actually won, but he told us ahead of time that he wasn't going to be able to run the feature, and so just whoever was second would get it. So Jeff Barker did end up winning that. Yeah.
Jeff Barker won it, but the auction closed at 8 o'clock, and Jeff Barker had won that. So Jeff Barker got the P25 provisional. No, sorry, he won in the auction P26, and then he qualified to go in as the winner, because of Spangler, as the winner of the veterans. So he had P25, P26, but his intention was, when he won that auction, was to give it to Bob the Good. So him and Bob, they're always in the same room racing together, and then good buddies. And so that was huge. I mean, that he did that. Bob made it. Another veteran. It was good to see 2 veterans in those provisional spots.
I thought it was just going to be kind of like the 2 seats on the airplane kind of thing. I mean, Barker's not a heavy guy or anything, but I just thought maybe he needed some extra space.
Yeah. And a huge shout out to Jeff Barker. As I'm not sure if everybody realizes, Jeff's a disabled veteran and has benefited from DAV, and so he was putting a lot back. That's for sure. So it's a big shout out to him as well. It was just a total success all the way around. I just had a lot of fun doing it. That's for sure. It's great. The veterans races were good. Not in the last race, but the other ones I would throw a yellow if they got too spread out, just to make it tighter.
Yeah.
I think one of the guys, I won't name their names, but I was ready to throw a caution with 5 to go on the final night, and somebody had an accident or incident, so the yellow came out. So it wasn't me, but it was a great finish. It was just a great event all the way around.
Yeah.
We'll be doing this one again. There's just no doubt about it. We'll be doing this one again. I've just had so much good feedback, and like I say, other leagues asking how did we do that. Yeah.
I'm proposing, and again, this is one of those things we're just doing live on air, but I propose that this is a November tradition, Knoxville Nationals, and do it same time of year every year, and just pump it up every year.
Yep. I think everybody will be looking forward to it. It's just the question would be, do we do it twice a year? But we got some good ideas. I haven't even talked to you about this one for next season. I'll run that by you when we're done the broadcast, because I've been talking to somebody about a great idea. So that's coming. So what else were we going to mention here about that?
I think that's about it. I'm ready to go talk to Brody. I want to see that.
Yeah, because did we?
No, that's right. So, but Roger and I both got surprise T-shirts in the mail.
Yes.
Ed sent us a couple of T-shirts just as a way to say thank you to the league, and I believe they're still trying to work this out, that they're going to make those available to guys in our league too. So, just as another way to support Brody. So, if you're interested in that, let us know, and we'll at least convey that to them too, because we don't want to. There's some things they have to do to get that together to make it happen, I think. So, if you would be interested in that, let us know. It's very likely it'll be available either way, but it'll help them know whether it's worth the work that they need to put together to make those available to you. So,
and it's a great interview with Brody. Don't go away. You want to watch this. Even if you fast forwarded to this spot, that's fine, because this is the core of this podcast.
Yeah. So we're going to jump over and talk to Brody now, and we're going to close out the show this week with that. We'll be back here for episode 54 next week, and but I can't tell you enough. Make sure you stick around. This is the interview you want to watch, and we'll see you back here next week. Thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate your support, and let us know what you want to see here on the podcast. And if you want to come onto the podcast, please let us know.
Yes.
We happy to have anybody from the league or elsewise. If you have something you want to talk about, let us know, and we'll get you on.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Drive safe. And we have super special guests this week. Really, really excited about this. We have Ed Sim, big deal. But more important, we got Brody Sim with us. Brody Sim is in the house. How you doing, buddy?
Not too bad.
You're looking good.
Yeah, thank you.
But before we get too far into this, yes, I will. Yeah, we'll point that out in a second. But we need to get this out of the way first, for the ladies' sake at least. Let us see the flow. Yeah, now we're talking. We're talking. I appreciate that.
He's spoken for from everything I've seen. So
this is true, but they'll still appreciate it. So yes, Roger and I both got one of these in the mail the other day. And it was a pretty funny story. So we usually will just get a delivery in the mailbox, but we got a letter on a little note on the front door that said we needed to go to the post office and pick it up. And my wife and I are looking at each other going, who ordered something? We had no idea what was coming. So it was a total surprise. It was really funny. It was really good.
Yeah, no, very much appreciated. And impressive shirt you got on there, Ed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
the first question, I mean, on everybody's mind, because everybody in the league, follows, and I follow your threads day to day. Mostly your mom puts those things on, I think. But how you feeling overall, buddy?
Pretty good. I'd say physically wise, I'm doing pretty good. And mentally, I'm getting better too. But I come to find out my hip and my back healed a lot faster than my brain's doing. So
yeah. Well, like we were just discussing before, the brain's a lot more complicated than well, at least like Preston said, for most people, maybe not for me, but it's complicated for most people.
There's some other guys we know too. Yeah. They know who they are.
Yeah. So the pelvis is all healed.
Yeah. No, that should be all healed now.
And your vertebrae, what was it again? Was it L4?
L2 or something like that.
L2. But it's all getting better.
Or something.
And I know I've dealt with not personally, but like with people I know with brain injuries, and everything looks normal, but it's a very, very complicated organ, and it's going to take some time. But from everything I'm hearing, you're making some great progress, buddy. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So are you still doing those trips up?
Yeah.
What are how?
I'm doing what's called neurofeedback right now. I don't know if my dad explained that to you before. But basically, I go to Eugene, which is about how many miles away from
About 60 miles south of here.
Yeah. And
how often?
Twice a week.
Twice a week.
Okay.
Every Monday and Wednesday. So, and then we go down there, and it's an hour-long thing, appointment. So I sit. There's like 3 different things that I'll do. I'll sit in a chair, and they'll hook up these things to my head, and I'll put on headphones, and I can watch whatever I want for an hour straight. I just have to focus on it. And then that will kind of like, I don't really know how to explain it. Kind of like sends, like impulses through my brain or something like that. Or kind of what I got out of it is it kind of like is like creating new neural pathways, like reconnecting. I don't know, but
yep.
That's kind of what I got out of it. But I do that every Monday and Wednesday, and then we kind of switch it up what we do in there. There's this one thing that we do called Alpha Theta, and that's actually where I put a blindfold on, and I'll sit there and I'll just listen to sounds. And again, there's those connectors all over my head, and that's for an hour, and I can actually fall asleep if I want to. I just have to listen to the sounds, because Alpha Theta is really like focusing on my brain when it's kind of like shutting off, if that makes sense. Like when I'm like sleeping or like not really thinking about something.
Yeah. And then you said there's a third part to that?
Yeah, there's a third part where like I hold on to this little like vibrating teddy bear, and I'll sit there and I'll watch like, it's not like a show or anything. It's like a bunch of dots flying around the screen, and it's like making weird noises. And whenever I'm watching anything on the screen, it'll do weird things. So like if I start to like zone off, the screen will get really small, or if I start to like do certain, like not focus on something or focus somewhere else, the screen will turn like gray, or like the sound will go dim, or like it'll do weird things.
That's incredible. I mean, it's really, when you think about, like 10 years ago or even 5 years ago, I'm sure, they wouldn't have had anything. I know, like, we've got a guy in our league, John Short. His wife deals with stuff like that, I think. Hey, Preston, it's she's got her PhD or something in like some sort of neurology type stuff. But I mean, when you get in the brain, it's just like, I don't know, like the stuff you're telling us that's amazing. It's amazing the things they can do today, and it sounds like it's every day's better overall. And it's that's just awesome, buddy. So you're looking good. I'm sure there's it's not always fun times, but it's amazing to be talking to you, and with what you've gone through and everything else. But hey, there's other things that are going on in your life. Like you've got this pickup truck you're working on.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So that was actually my papa's truck. He got diagnosed with, what was it, lung cancer? Esophagus cancer. And he quit his job, I think, because he had cancer, and he found that pickup for cheap, and he pretty much just spent his free time building that, because he wasn't working, because he was always at appointments or something, or I don't really know. But he spent his free time doing that, and he built that truck, and he passed it down to my dad right before he passed away. And my dad drove it around for a little bit, did a few things to it, and took it to some shows. And then I came along and I started racing, so kind of took that away and sat in the bushes or over there in the weeds for a couple of years.
4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years, and it was pretty rough. And after my accident, I figured, and I just asked my dad if we can go work on it. And so we pulled it in the shop and jacked it up, pulled everything off of it, and just started cleaning stuff up. And now we're actually getting a new motor built for it, and just doing different things, and just trying to make it look good and keep me busy.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, from what I understand, but from what I understand, on the last post was the mice may have caused a little bit of issues. So you got to rewire the whole thing, or
we're gonna have to rewire the whole dash, the whole wiring kit, everything. They got in there pretty good. The mice and some I think some squirrels got in there too, and Yeah, I learned my lesson never to leave a vehicle like that sitting outside, because it ate all the dash, all the wiring to the dash, all the wiring stuff. Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess, but it's coming along. We're getting there.
Yeah, that's so. Hey, Brody, you have to do us a favor, and on our C2C lounge post, when you do those posts, share it to the lounge, because I know guys in the league would really love to see that. There's a ton of interest in how you're doing throughout the league, and everybody loves to see the progress report. So promise me you're going to share some of those truck pictures, because that is a kick-ass. It's good. It looked good before you started. I'm sure it doesn't look quite as good right now in the state it's in, but it's going to be awesome. So really excited about that. That's a great thing. So I know before the accident you were you're going to school, taking some mechanic stuff, like you were driving quite a ways to high school to do that. Then you had a job, I think, was that with a wrapper or something, like vinyl wrap?
It was called Extreme Graphics. It's a local vinyl shop here in town, and I was doing that after school. And
then you were working on your car after that, so you were a busy boy.
Yeah,
so now you've got this truck. You got the truck you're working on. Are you back at school?
Yes, I've enrolled in school from the start of the year, and I actually didn't miss anything. I kind of started out in the walker for a little bit, but by the time that my first actual day of school started, I just got out of the walker, so that was good. And I've been in school. I'm doing pretty decent, all A's and B's, so just keeping up.
Again, that's it. The brain is wild, like it's just that's awesome. It's that's great news. So the vinyl job, is that sort of off the chart right now?
So my school actually changed their hours. The days are a little bit longer there. And the shop that I was working at, they closed at 5 in the evening. So when I did the math, or when I looked into it, I really only would work like an hour a day after school. And so it just, I don't know, I didn't really see could have found something better where I can get more hours. So the boss was totally cool with that, and I talked to him about it, and he totally understood. And so I've actually got a different job now. I'm working a few days a week now. So,
very good, man.
Yeah.
You're a busy boy. Yeah. Plus going to Eugene a couple times a week just for fun, and a few other things.
We stay busy.
So how are mom and dad doing?
Yeah.
We're doing good. We're hanging in there. Like Brody said, we're a little bit busy, and one of the things that I wanted to mention is, so the neurofeedback that he goes to down in Eugene, the doctor's been amazing. So when we first got word of neurofeedback, who was from another driver who had happened to have a brain injury, he said, hey, we should go to this doctor. And at first he was all booked up. He says, I don't have any openings, won't have any openings for a couple months. But then my wife called there, talked to his nurse, talked to his secretary, and so he says he's booked up for the next couple months. But then when he heard about Brody's story and being so young, he decided, hey, I need to, get this kid before it's too late. And so Brody goes down actually in the evening. So he actually opened up his office in the evening for us. Wow. So Brody's appointments are actually in the evening at 6 o'clock.
7 now.
7 now. So he'll go home and have dinner, and then he'll come back into the office just to, see Brody. And again, we can't thank you guys enough, and the Stephen King Foundation enough, because this neurofeedback right now isn't being paid by our insurance. And it's like $100 per session, which is $2 a week. And we took your guys' donation.
2 sessions a week.
2 sessions a week. And so that's $100 each session.
Yeah.
And so we were able to, and I think there's a minimum of 30 sessions he has to go to.
Yeah.
Minimum of 30. And so, but we were able to, because of the donation from you guys in your race, that's what we were able to, pay for these sessions that he goes to every week because of you guys in your race. And so, again, we can't thank you guys enough, because Brody wouldn't be, without these sessions, he would not be near as along as he is. He went to some cognitive therapy, he went to speech therapy, but this neurofeedback is what's really got to where he is today. I mean, he's still got a little ways to go, but without the help of you guys in that donation, we wouldn't have been able to do that therapy. And so it's really helped us, and helped Brody. And that's one of the reasons why we wanted to come on here and thank you guys. Thanks everybody who participated, because like I said, without that, we couldn't have, done this therapy that's helped him so much. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate you sharing that, because that means a lot to us, and I can tell you what, it's going to mean a lot to other guys. Roger and I get tons of credit for doing stuff like this, but we're filled with our league's filled with guys who just want to do stuff like this. That's why we do a charity event every season. Sometimes we do more than that. So I am very glad we were able to help you. But that's very touching, and I appreciate you sharing that with us.
It's been amazing to us, and like I said, we can't thank you guys enough, because like I said, he wouldn't be. He's still got, like I say, he's still got a little ways to go, but he wouldn't be near where he is today if it wasn't for that. Going down to that therapy, and like I said, we couldn't. It's $200 a week plus going back and forth, but with your guys' donation, we were able to put all that towards this therapy, and it's helping him tremendously.
Beautiful.
I guess you can see by talking to him. He's like he mentioned earlier, he's going back to school. He doesn't go full time to school. I think he's got 5.
I've got 6 out of the 7 periods, so I got a free period off.
Wow. Yeah, and he's getting.
That's what you want anyway.
Yeah, I think he's got.
Yeah, might want to play that a bit just to keep that spare for a little bit longer.
4 A's?
No, 3 A's and 2 B's right now, because my first period is a block period. That's my welding class and my shop class, so it's a block period. So 2 periods back to back of the same thing.
Yeah, awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, that is awesome, buddy. And I'm a little speechless on. I think everybody in the league is going to be just so glad to hear that.
Yeah.
We like to think that what we're doing helps, but hearing that firsthand really hits home here.
Yep.
So, that's awesome. Preston, you got any other questions right now?
Well, I tend to skew towards the technical, I guess. And I ran into Brody. We talked about it a couple of weeks. In fact, we're actually going to have the game's lead developer, the Sims lead developer on at some point here. But I ran into Brody in our Racing Dirt thread, so I assume that you've been keeping up with that a little bit, how that's coming along.
Yeah. No, that the new game. You're talking about that new game coming out, right?
Yeah, it's
the new sim. It's a sim.
Yeah, be careful about that.
Yeah, and you should know. You should be using that word.
Yeah. Maybe it's confusing. But so anyway,
it's confusing. Yeah.
So they've been releasing some screenshots lately, and it looks incredible. It's going to be if you're not familiar with it, it's a dirt racing game specifically. It's designed to be a sim to compete with iRacing, but they're starting with the sprint cars. That's their focus, and they'll add late models in the future. So it is. And I know I've talked to Harry Maguire, who's the guy I'm speaking about, the lead developer. I've talked to him, privately a couple of times, and there's supposed to be all kinds of league features and stuff. So I don't know in a year from now, where we're at. So it's pretty cool.
It's kind of cool the way we keep crossing Brody. I mean, Brody joined our league, I think, the week of your accident.
I think the week before or the week of or something.
Yeah. So you've never turned a lap with us, but we're hoping that somewhere down the road that happens. We tried to talk your dad into coming out and racing with us with your account, but that didn't seem to get any traction.
I think everybody might be a little upset with me because I'd probably hit everything there, the wall, all the other cars. I don't think I'd ever make it a lap.
But you know what, Ed? We have these matinee races.
Oh,
and it's all older guys. I won't say old guys because I'm not putting you in our class, but there's
retired guys.
Mostly retired guys, but we have a laugh, and everybody's very forgiving. So I really think Brody will be in school so he can't lead you to the computer and get you to log in. But I encourage you to come out as on Brody Sims. You'll guys will love you, man. Yeah. It's there's no protests allowed even. So it's just a bunch of guys having fun. So Yeah, it's just your belly might hurt afterwards from laughing so much. That's the only thing. But, so I'll talk to you about that afterwards. But we're gonna drag your dad's butt out there, Brody, and then maybe, yeah.
That way you can put a hurting on him.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I'll have to make him a rap.
So there's a question. There's a few questions we have. We could ask these, but in your racing career, because your racing career, like, well, take us through that before I ask the question. Like, you started out with go-karts.
Yeah, actually,
you started out with dirt bikes, right?
Or BMX bicycles.
BMX. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Then take us through your racing career.
So I started out with BMX when I was 4 years old, right?
Yeah,
4 years old, and
I don't even know if I could ride a bike when I was 4.
yeah, I don't know how well I was either, but I caught on pretty quick, and we were really successful in those. We went down to San Diego to the Olympic training center in California.
Yeah.
We finished 5th in the USA kind of final things. We won state championship here before that, and we
how old were you when you won the state championship? Like
5.
5.
Wow.
That is one.
So yeah, and we went down to San Diego for the Olympic training to the Olympic Training Center, and we placed 5th out of the USA, all the USA, and we were supposed to go to Denmark, but I got my third concussion. I got my 3rd concussion, and actually training for that race, or doing like a local race training for the Denmark race, and me being only like 5 or 6 years old, 3 concussions was pretty enough. So my parents decided that's probably time to hang that one up and find something with a cage around me. So my dad was scrolling through, I think probably Craigslist or something, and I was in the living room playing with my little cars on the mat, and he goes, "Hey, come over here." And I come over there, and I see this like blue looking go-kart looking thing, and he goes, "If I got this for you, would you race it?" And I'm like, sure. And then I go back to playing with my cars, and turns out, sure enough, the cart ended up in our garage, and we went racing. And I think for my first year, I actually sucked. I don't think I was very good at all.
There's no Olympic program there.
Yeah.
We'll blame it on the engine build.
Yeah. And I kind of slowly started to catch on, and that first cart we got really wasn't nothing. We picked it up. I think you picked it up for like $200 or something, just to see if I would like it. And then he seen that I liked it, and was kind of catching on-ish, and so he got me a little bit better cart, and caught on even more, and then a better cart after that, and I just kind of been progressing up through the outlaw kart ranks, and we went all the way from Red Bluff, California, Chico, California, all the way to Millbridge, North Carolina, and we've kind of, and up to Montana and down to Arizona. We've kind of been all over the place in the go-karts, and we were pretty successful in those. We won like 8 I don't even know how many championships. 8 or 9 championships in those, and
don't brag.
that was by the time we were 12 years old, or I was 12 years old, and by the time I was 12, we moved up to what's called the street stocks here. It might be called like a hobby stock or something.
Yep.
And I only ran a year in that, but that was really fun. It sounds kind of dumb, but that was probably the funnest year I had in racing, just because it was, like a $3,500 car, and it was
beat bang a little bit.
Yeah, it was just fun. Like me and him, it was just me and my dad most of the time. My mom would go in the grandstands, and we'd just show up and we'd have fun. And we ran 2nd in points that year, I think, and we won a race. We actually won a race, yeah. And we got Rookie of the Year, I think, or Sportsman of the Year or something like that. That was fun. And after that year, we got my first sprint car, and that was kind of the same deal as always. We, found one for a pretty decent price, and it wasn't the nicest stuff, and just to see if I would like it, move up, and slowly started catching on. And by the time I was 14, I officially started my rookie year.
Slowly catching on, Preston. He's at 14, slowly catching on.
Yeah. And I think 14 I think was the start of official start of my rookie year. I ran 2 races before that year, and we did pretty decent. I think we ran in the top 3 4 times, and 7 or 6 or 5 top 5s or something like that. And we got Rookie of the Year. Never got a win. We ran second one time, but never really got a win. But we won heat races and B mains and stuff like that. But no, we were pretty decent. And then after that rookie year in the sprint car, we found out that tumor in my leg was growing back, which that grew the first time when I was like 8 years old. But we found out that tumor was growing back, and so while we were doing in the winter season of go-karts, I had to have surgery to get I had to have surgery to get the tumor taken out, and that kind of set me back a little bit, and I think we missed a good amount of the summer season, which we figured we were already, missing. We weren't going to run for points, and we had a modified. I don't know. You guys know what that is, right?
Oh,
IMCA modified.
Yep.
Yeah, and we had one of those. I haven't even had to try out yet, and so we were already like not going to be into the points battle or anything, and there's like 5 races left in the season, so we figured we can just go try modified for a few races, and that was actually really, really fun. Out of all the cars that I've driven, I'd say that the modified is probably one of the more challenging cars, just because the way that the rear end works with
the narrow tires.
Yep.
Yeah, no, they're strange. And it's so even, everybody's the rules are so strict. Everybody has the same stuff pretty much. So it's not like really like a sprint car or something like that, where if you got a ton of money in your car and there's somebody else out here who doesn't have a lot of money, it's that'll show. But with a modified, everybody has the same stuff. Everybody has the same crate motor and everything, which I really enjoyed about that. But, we ran the modified for a little bit.
Brendan Lacey in our league would be impressed. He drives one of those modifieds out of Oklahoma, I think.
Yeah, they're fun cars. And then we traveled to Kansas and Missouri. What was that? Like 2019, 2020 summer?
2020 October.
Yeah, October. For the fall nationals, we ran a couple races in there in the modified, and that was a fun deal. We actually bought a new, not a brand new, but we actually bought a different modified, which was a little bit better than the one I had, and I never ran that car before. We just got it, and I just had time to go through it, and then we loaded up and headed all the way back to the Midwest in a brand new car to see tracks that I've never even seen before. Or not a brand new car, but a new car to see tracks I've never seen before and go racing, which we actually didn't do too bad. We were one spot out of the B main. I went out one spot out of the A main. We ran the transfer spot the whole time, and then on the last lap, I caught the rubber wrong, and my car got tight, and I pushed up, and some guy got underneath me. But that was a fun deal. It was cool, seeing things were different back there. Things were really different, but and then after that, we were planning on going back to the sprint cars this year. And we had our sprint car built, and then Chris Rolfe, the guy that owned my sprint car that I ran this year, he was talking with us, and he actually wanted to become involved in my sprint car racing, so he bought me a 2019 J&J, which is what I was running this year. That's a chassis, and I was running that, and we were just finally starting to get the hang of it when that wreck happened. And I don't know. We were doing pretty good, but I feel like we were just about to get it, but I don't know. It happens.
So my question that I always ask everybody is, it's usually your greatest iRacing memory, and we could ask that question too, but out of all that stuff you've done, what's your greatest memory of all of that?
I don't know. That's really hard to say. I don't really know. Gosh.
Is there any particular wins that stand out or anything like that?
It kind of sounds a little weird just because I race sprint cars, but that street stock win was pretty dang cool, if you ask me. Cool, everybody kind of gives me stuff for it, but I mean, I kid you not, I'm not lying. When street stocks were like so much fun. I love street stocks, and I mean, we just showed up on an open trailer, and me and my dad unloaded, and we put air in the tires and go. I mean, we put gas in it. You know, I mean, it was so much simpler. The track was bone dry slick, and my car had a rear end seal going out. So if you watch the video, my car's smoking like crazy, and it's like rattling apart going down the straightaway. But I just hugged the bottom. The track was bone dry slick, so nobody can get around me, and we ended up winning. And it was a happy night. My aunt was actually there for that night. She flew out and watched me race, but she never comes out and watches me race. Really, she actually passed away here not too long ago. Yeah, no, that was just a fun night. My aunt was there, my uncle was there.
That sounds like a greatest memory right there.
Yeah,
then,
for sure.
And I love the fact that you talk about all the stuff you've done. It was that street stock, just having fun with your dad.
Yeah.
Just hauling it on the trailer. Like, that's awesome.
That's what it's
awesome.
about, man.
No, it was simple.
I'm impressed that's your favorite of all that stuff when there was bigger glory days maybe, but doing that with your dad's pretty cool, man.
So the question I always ask, and it may be actually a little bit tougher than Roger's because you've raced in a lot of different stuff. But what I always ask our guys, and again, we're typically talking to guys in our league who see the same guys every week. But over your racing career, have you ever had like a biggest rival, like somebody you are always racing against, or button heads with, or whatever?
It
might have been Dad, but
yeah. Oh yeah, no, definitely me and my dad. But on the racetrack, I'd say it's definitely probably my closest buddies that I rap with.
Yeah.
Because we're buddies and we talk all the time, so it's kind of when one of us beats each other, you never really hear the end of it. It's kind of until the next weekend, and then so yeah. I'd say that's probably one of my biggest rivalries. I've had buddies like McLean Bedoin and Carter Patterson and Ian Whistler, people like that, things like that. You're almost just racing them more than trying to win, sometimes.
Well, that's a fair answer. I think more often than not,
excellent answer.
When we ask those questions, and I would say the same thing. It's usually a teammate that comes out of that, and so that makes a lot of sense, right? So it's true to life.
Yeah, nothing against my buddies. It's just
Yeah, no, a rivalry doesn't have to be
exactly
contentious. That's right.
No, I'm sure you're their biggest rival when you're on the track with them too. So it's,
when they can catch
that way. And this unrelated question here, and I know geographically it's not like they're next door or anything, but you're all on the west coast there. BC has been getting some terrible flooding, and I know that's way north of you. But have you guys had a lot of rain too in the last week or so?
A good amount of rain. I wouldn't say there's a whole lot of flooding around me, but there's definitely a good amount of rain. It's almost every day, I'd say. But I don't know.
Oh, what tracks did you used to run? That was
there's a track called Cottage Grove Speedway.
Yeah.
Cottage Grove, Oregon, and then I ran a track sometimes. It was Willamette Speedway in Lebanon, Oregon. And sometimes I'd run. Well, those are the two main tracks, and we obviously travel out a little bit into California. But the two main tracks are definitely Lebanon and Grove. Mainly Grove being the track that we're running this year.
Roger, remind me, do we have somebody in our league from Oregon?
Probably.
Yeah, I think Dan Blau is from Oregon.
That's the one.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. So at least Dan and maybe one of his boys, I think, is still in Oregon too. So,
yeah.
How far is Skagit from you guys? Is it a long haul?
I think it's 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah, it's about 5 or 6 hours north.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of thought it was, but I wasn't sure. So, no, buddy, it's great to see how well you're doing, and it's. I'm glad to hear those treatments are doing their job, and I know I saw a post there with y'all wired up, and it's. I went for a sleep apnea test, and I end up, and they wanted you to go to sleep, but oh my God, I ended up like in a knot. They had to 2 a.m. wake me up and unwind me because I had all those wires all over my head, and they're all wrapped around me and everything. So.
Yeah.
But no, it's awesome, and really appreciate the post, especially Mom. Thank Mom for the posts. But I want you to promise me you're going to put some progress reports on that pickup truck.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, and what's that beater that you drive normally? Tell us a little bit about your.
Yeah, no, that's a challenge.
I don't think it's a beater. Tell us about that car.
No, not quite. No, I have some good times in that car.
What year is that?
That's a 2009. It's a little bit older, but I still like it. I'm grateful.
Oh, that's awesome, man. So it's great. It's really great to see you and hear all the great progress you're making, and all the things you've been through, and just never give up, buddy. And that's a saying that it carries in our league now. That's for sure.
I have a new body coming for my cart, and there will be a Never Give Up logo on there in your honor, buddy. So
that's awesome.
I'll send you a picture once I get it done.
It won't be from the podium, but he'll send you.
It'll be from the pits probably. But I tell you, buddy, you're a special young man, and whether it's on the track or not, it's no doubt there's big things in store for you, and everybody in our league is pulling for you. And I really appreciate you coming on. That's really awesome, and we're gonna get some views. There's no doubt.
Yeah, I know. You made our day coming on, man, and it's just it's excellent. Your dad was awesome the last time he talked, and can't thank your dad enough for everything he's done, keeping us in the loop and all that sort of stuff. So it's great, and hopefully, I know there's challenges ahead for you, but I hope to see you on the track with us at some time. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Even if you got involved with the league some different way, but I know the guys will love to see your name around, and get your dad to get his butt out there and get on the track in the afternoon with us a few times. Once he comes out, he'll love it.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, I'll watch the Facebook and the group and everything, and see when you guys are going, and I'll try to help on. I haven't been able to really get on it a whole lot recently. I've been trying to kind of keep busy, and I usually
now are you still limited to like monitor time or TV time and stuff like that?
Now I'm clear of that, but no, it's not really like a screen time thing. I don't know. I try to stay busy doing.
You got better things to do.
Yeah, that's
what I'm hearing. Yeah. And well, the logo or slogan for our league is family first.
Yeah.
And that sounds like what you're doing, and getting involved with your dad and mom, and we don't want to forget your sister there too. So and your girlfriend. I think your girlfriend. It sounds like she's been a big part of this whole thing. Just a shout out to everybody in the family there, and we'll have to do this again. A little bit later, but in the meantime, just keep getting up there to those sessions, and you're looking and sounding great, and
thank you.
I can't wait to talk to you again.
Thank you
for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's our privilege, man. It's definitely our privilege.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.